I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
It's been a week of automotive activity so far.
Well, definitely for you, yes.
Definitely for me. It was MOT time for the Puma.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And
it didn't go entirely to plan.
Not brilliantly. I mean,
it wasn't.
Not a disaster, but not brilliant.
No, it's not. It's not terminal, and all that time I spent cleaning it didn't help. Sadly, in fact, to be honest, getting it wet probably made matters worse.
Oh, okay. For goodness sake,
which is a hint as to what the issue might be. But anybody that knows Pumas will know what the issue is.
Yes, the crusty bits.
He's got some holes in it. Yeah.
Underneath, from what you were saying.
Yeah. Suspension mountings, floor, and seat mountings. Yeah.
Right. When you say suspension mountings, did they specify front or rear?
Offside, I believe. I don't know if they specified front and rear, actually. That's a good point. I'll have to look that up. I'll do a quick check while we're on here, shall we?
Yes, please do.
I can't remember.
I'm willing to bet they didn't even write it down.
Probably not. No, he didn't mention it when I spoke to him. That's for sure. But I can't recall if it's on the
on the bit of paper or
on
the online bit.
Oh! We have breaking news.
Go on then.
We have breaking news. This is the first time I've checked it today, and it now has a pass.
Oh, we're all right.
They've sorted it.
Oh, lovely.
Look at that.
That's all right.
However, to answer your question, no, they did not specify front or rear. They just specified offside.
Okay, but it's at least mended now. So
it is now. It's the first time I've checked it today because I've been out and about, and they must have sorted it. They haven't phoned. But
no. Come on.
No. But and it does have some other issues, but they weren't failures. They've had the man in with the welder, and he's filled in all the holes by the look of it.
He saw it. That's all right then.
Well, how about that then? That was the breaking news as it happens here on Stuff and Waffle.
Oh, that couldn't have gone better if we tried. So you've got. I've just looked it up too. So yeah, like you said, there's only a couple of little odds and sods that need.
I mean, front brake discs. I mean, we could do that. That's not an issue.
That's within our realm. That
slightly annoyed about the front direction indicator, slightly discoloured because I spent the weekend polishing that. But it's probably inside,
right?
Because the Puma's got the three separate lenses inside the covered, and of course it's the outer covered one that I've declouded. So it's the fact that they don't mention the headlights, even though it's all part of the same cluster.
Yeah, that's very specific, isn't it?
It's probably inside. So
that's all right. Well, that's one to tick off. Then there's probably a bit more faff that though.
I don't know if those are a sealed unit or if I can get in those. I'll have to have a look at that. But front brake disc, not an issue. And all right. Well, vehicle structure a bit corroded. Well, it's going to be in it.
Well, yeah.
It's
going to be the odd bubble, I'm afraid.
It's a 2002 Puma, of course. There is the only bubbling I was aware of was a little bit on the sills, but nothing massive, and a little bit on the lower corner of the rear wheel arches, right down at the bottom.
Right, okay, that's where you'd expect, really, on both
counts. It's to be expected, but there's nothing in the upper wheel arches. That's as solid as you like. So
good. Okay, that's all right. So what this does is it's going to accelerate your need to sort that garage out.
Very much so. However, thanks to your good self and your great kindness, I've got a car I can put a load of shit in now.
Brilliant. I do like shit in my car.
I knew you'd be pleased.
Well, to be honest, it's only stuff that's been in the garage. It's not like it's covered in mankiness.
It's fine. It's yeah. There's nothing great. It's like polystyrene in cardboard and stuff like that. It's nothing horrible.
Yeah, well, it as with a lot of people's garage, it just becomes a dumping zone.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, isn't it? And yeah, it's out of sight, out of mind, isn't it? In there, you just sort of close the door, and there it is. So
yeah, away you go. So it's time for a big old clear out using a Volvo, and
yes,
then you can put a Puma in it.
A Puma needs to be away for the winter, doesn't it? Otherwise, that's just going to be the same story next year. So
yeah, you're just going to keep spending for no reason when you could have just had a clear out.
I mean, it's a 20-year-old Puma. There's always going to be something. Let's be honest. But
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, you could go a long way to reducing that, though.
It's got a lot less rust than a lot of Pumas. And it is a limited edition one. The plan is to keep it nice. The good lady does not want to get rid of it. She really likes it.
Well, that's fair enough. And considering what you said about the bill, it's not break the bank. It's definitely money well spent.
Not at all. We're talking a few £100 to. I mean, Phil said, a few £100 to put a 20-year-old car through an MOT is pretty good, really.
It's kind of half the course, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really not an issue. So, and it's absolutely worth spending that kind of money on it.
Oh yes. So yeah, we'll definitely do a bit of that.
Yes.
And definitely do a bit of a clear out of other than cardboard and polystyrene. Have you got anything really preventing you from getting it in there? Because it's quite a decent sized garage, isn't it?
So it's not a bad garage for a modern house. Yeah, I mean, given that most of them are tiny, it's not bad. It's a fairly standard size. There is a fridge freezer in there that I need to get the council to come and take away. But other than that,
is that not just going to become a Volvo job?
Well, it might do, actually. I could take it up there myself, couldn't I? That's a very valid point. Yeah, it's true. It would fit in there, wouldn't it, with the back seats down?
Yeah, it's
a valid point, actually. I might just bite the bullet this weekend and elbow that myself. Yeah,
just make that go away because, well, you're going to be waiting till the cows come home if you're waiting for the council to come pick it up.
Well, yeah, but the trouble is, as we've said before, they insist on it being curbside, but curbside for us is quite a distance because we're at the end of a private road. So I'm going to have to walk a fridge freezer for quite a distance.
No, I think your idea of over the fence, plop it on the road, on the main road by Tesco, job done.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
You watch them whip round Sharpish and pick that up.
Oh, I'd soon get rid of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so curbside there is going to block lorries, so that'll sort it right out.
They'll soon sort that. So need to get that out, and then it really is just it's recycling and some bits of some old wardrobes and things like that. There's nothing dirty in there.
No, so that needs sorting, and that way you can have room for the car. You can have your car cleaning bits and bobs at the ready, a few tools. Lovely.
Oh yeah, no, I've got some racking units in there that need to be better organised, and I think there might be some bits of electronics in there. I think there's an old printer and an old amplifier and things like that in there, but again, nothing dirty. That can come out, but of course we don't need the whole garage for the Puma because, as you said, it's quite a decent sized garage, and the Puma is quite small. So there's still be room at the back for other things. I've got all my painting and decorating stuff in there and things like that. So
that's good, yeah, because I know you love that.
Oh, yeah, but I am sometimes forced to do it. So
I know.
Yes.
Remember one of the last times you did it, and Dawn told me all about it and said, "Oh yes, he's got some time off for work, but he's just angry in the hallway."
Yeah,
painting.
That's right. It's a week off to be stroppy up a ladder. Yes.
Brilliant. I could picture it, and I could picture the mumbling under your breath.
Oh yeah.
The inevitable. I've kicked the paint can over because I'm in a huff.
Yeah, well, I did that in the sitting room, but fortunately the sofa's over it, so it's all right.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, my goodness me.
No, I didn't kick it in anger. It was an accident.
I bet I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall for that particular one.
Yeah, there's a brown patch, but it's under one of the sofas, so it's fine. Nobody needs to know.
There's a brown patch. We're just telling everyone it's paint.
Yeah,
Yep, that's good.
right. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness me.
Oh, it's horrible. Anyway,
yeah, we went off a bit there.
we did slightly. However, it appears as if Puma is now fixed. So
okay, that happened a lot quicker than we were expecting, actually, because
it did.
I just left you with a car and went, yeah, did what you like. I don't need it back, so.
Yeah, well, I don't mean you're getting it back tomorrow.
No, that's fine.
Interestingly, it's got 3 more miles on the clock than it had on the MOT failure. They must have driven it somewhere.
Oh,
they've done 3 miles in it in the last 24 hours.
Oh, maybe someone needed some milk from Tesco's or something.
That'll be it. Yeah.
We'll just take that. That'd be all right.
That one will do. Whichever one's nearest the gate. Yes.
Ah, that's all right. Well, they probably done some welding on it, took it for a quick spin to get the milk, came back and went, yep, all those bits of metal are still attached. Perfect.
All good. Yes.
Oh, dear. That's all right then. You will be delighted to know when you left here after dropping me back off from gathering the Volvo.
Yes.
Within minutes, a certain vehicle appeared in its place and has resided there ever since.
A certain Jaguar.
Yes, a Jaguar has appeared in there, and all other cars have been used instead of the Jaguar.
Oh, very good. Well, when it comes back, I feel that's where it should be parked.
Yeah, but like you say, you might as well hang on to it because there's just going to be nowhere to park it come the weekend.
That's fair enough. Well,
our road fills up a treat, so yeah, there's just no point in bringing it back anyway.
Well, I'm very much enjoying driving it, so I'm happy to continue to run my life around it. Yes, that's fine.
Even though nothing works on it, it's brilliant.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes and stops, and the doors open. That's all I kind of need.
Yeah, you can't say fairer than that. But no, it's just annoying sometimes. But it's as we said before. It's like, yes, the radio doesn't work. They all do that. The most fancy edition of the radios in those cars are the ones that break.
You told me that when I was looking at them. You said avoid the ones with the hi-fi upgrade. Yes.
So yeah, they just break, and that doesn't work. The wiper doesn't work. They all do that.
Yeah, I've seen loads advertised with stuck rear wipers. Yeah, it was quite the list you gave me of things that it doesn't work. Yeah, don't bother pushing that, and this doesn't do anything, and I've taken the fuse out of that, and this has had it, and it was quite a list.
Well, it's a long list, but the thing is, it's not a point where it's worth mending any of that. It's worth absolutely nothing.
Well, I mean, I've looked at a lot of them over the last 6 months or so. I've looked at a lot of V70 adverts. I wouldn't say it's worth nothing. It's, but it's also not worth loads. No,
I'm not. It's not worth throwing money at. I mean, having had again someone have a quick look at the gearbox, it's been exceedingly well behaved. Actually,
yeah, I've had no issue with it. No,
I still keep rolling around with the winter mode on, just to avoid the stupid thing that the gearbox does.
Yeah, I've been driving it in winter mode as well. Yeah,
while the gears that winter mode skips out are perfectly functional and fine.
Yeah,
it's the silly software thing that it does in traffic, which throws the error and makes it go wonky. So I just keep the winter mode so that stays away.
Yeah, I've been pushing that little button and it's been absolutely fine.
So it is what it is at the moment. I'm not I'm just not spending a huge amount on it. I will keep
No,
it.
I
It's
can
well
understand.
serviced and MOT'd and everything else, but luxury items, I'm afraid, like a radio upgrade, can bugger off at the moment.
Would you still like to get it over the 200,000 mile mark?
I was worried.
Do you think that's not going to happen?
No, I was worried for a bit, but she seems fine. I've done up and down motorways I've done loads of trips in it since we thought, oh god, it's on its last legs. And
I know
I've
when
covered thousands of miles since then.
When the gearbox started to muck about, I know you were thinking, oh, this is probably going to be it. But it continues to live. So
all is well. So
yeah. Absolutely. It is nice. I do like it. I would not object to one of those. And there are quite a lot around that have done that kind of mileage, and have some of the issues that yours has got. I'm not sure I've seen one advertised that has all the issues that yours has got.
Fine. But none of it stops it going, so that'll do.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And if I do have to go on a long journey, I lob the Bluetooth speaker in there so that I don't go too doolally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you've still got some... Yeah. So what's wrong with that? Because the radio comes alive and the screen works.
FM occasionally works. AM always works. The CD changer, because it's built in, it's got a 6 CD changer in the head unit itself. All that does is spit CDs at you. That's all that does.
Oh, okay.
It was working fine, and then one day it went. I was bundling along, and I'm like, it just kept throwing CDs at me. I said, I'm trying to bloody drive here.
A lunatic in the dashboard throwing CDs at you.
And even if you turn the radio off, it still does it. It's automated. And I'm going, right, I'm sure it was only 6 in there. I felt it was just throwing them.
The whole back seat was full of them. I don't even own any Christopher Cross.
And it's never worked since.
Of course, you drive a Volvo, so clearly you do own some Christopher Cross. But
obviously that's how it works.
So it's the law. But nothing wrong with Christopher Cross. I'd like to be clear about that. That was just a name I plucked out of the ether.
Okay, right, okay. Yeah. You're not mocking anyone in particular.
Certainly not a big fan. Arthur's theme, you can listen to it forever.
All of that.
But it's reminded me how much I like a big wallowy, squidgy automatic car.
Yeah, and it's the best seats in the world.
They are rather nice, aren't they? Yeah, I must admit, when I'd been where I've been today and then got home, I had a call to make. I thought, no, I'm just going to sit here and do that. And I sat in the car and made my call. I didn't go back inside.
Oh, that's good. Yes, it is a comfy place to sit.
It is. I imagine you could do some serious mileage in that, and you'd have no problem at all.
No, we've done lots. We all know what we've done. We did.
Yeah.
When it was Le Mans, we got off the ferry at Calais and we just blasted down. Just a 5-hour non-stop. Here we go.
Yeah.
I mean, the only bugger with that was the seats were really comfortable, but Mr. Sharp in the back had decided, I know what I'll do. I'll put the bottles of water that we bought in the boot, but I'll put the cans of lager in the cabin. And you go, well, I'm trying to operate a vehicle here, but I am quite parched and getting a bit of headache here. So, well done.
Dear. Yeah, that's a good choice. That's the right way around. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and then they get there and they go, a bit tired after that. Oh dear. Did sitting down doing absolutely nothing get to you?
Oh, my heart bleeds. Just stand there. I'll slam your head in the door.
Yeah. Won't take a minute. Yeah.
Oh, you need that, don't you?
Yeah.
You really need that.
It still comes up from time to time, as you would imagine.
Oh, I should think. Yeah, absolutely. But no, if a V70 at the right price came along, I wouldn't object. But I think we all know what I'd probably choose.
Yeah, we know we're going to end up in Jaguar territory, which is probably a good idea because you said Dawn wasn't overly fussed, was you? Well,
She she doesn't like big cars, and that is quite big. I mean, she came out when I got back today and said, "God, it's enormous." Now, you could say she was talking about the car.
I'm assuming you leapt to other conclusions.
I tried; it didn't work. No.
No, that's as usual. When those sort of phrases appear, you just go, "Oh, sorry, one more time."
Yeah, I'd like to record that.
She'll be exceedingly grateful of a vehicle of that size when that fridge freezer disappears.
She will, actually. That's true, because it means a bike can go in there. So, yeah.
Bicycle.
Bicycles, yes. There are bicycles in there as well.
Yes. Well, you do have a small person, and they seem to like those things.
Yeah, he's not massively keen, but it has been used a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things, and it's the only mode of transport at that age, and you go, right, I will tolerate this.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been around to his mate's house and things on it. So
splendid. What about you? Do you have a bicycle?
No.
That would have been my first guess.
That was a slightly silly question, if I may be so bold.
I just thought I just need to clarify. That's all.
Well, yeah, I suppose it was worth clarifying, but no, I don't.
Do you object to the entire concept?
No. No, I don't. But nor have I actually done anything about acquiring one.
Okay, you're definitely in the ambivalent section then.
Yeah, I think that's fair. If we were, going out as a family and, the three of us, then obviously I don't want to be left out of that. But I can't see it getting a lot of use at any other time.
No, I know what you mean. I can say that you wouldn't get a lot of use out of it, I think.
I don't think so. So I'd probably buy a second-hand one.
Okay. God, how have we ended up here? We were talking about buying second-hand cars that were interesting. We got on buying second-hand push bikes.
I tried to steer us into S-types, and we seem to have ended up on bicycles, which is a very different place.
I suppose we should be at least grateful it's got some wheels. My goodness me.
Well, it's a mode of transport, isn't it? Yes, exactly. It could be worse.
Oh, God. Yeah, all right, then. S-types, right.
Yeah.
Beautiful segue.
Yeah, I thought so.
Subtle as you like that was.
Yeah.
Are we any closer?
Well, it always depends on finances, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we're probably closer than we've been for a while. Yeah.
Oh, well, this is good.
But we have stopped looking at the V8R because in the current climate.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything costs the earth.
Quite. And you could say, well, at this point, what difference does it make? But
there is that argument of going, right, well, the difference in spending is quite the drop in the ocean, really.
It is, although the cars themselves are quite a bit more expensive than the V6 version.
That's the big thing, isn't it? It's not the running. It's
not so much the running, although the tax is quite ouchy on a supercharged V8 compared to the V6. In fact, it's more than double.
It's like they don't want you to do it.
Strange. But the price of the car itself is considerably more.
I see.
A minimum of 3 times more than the V6 option.
Shit, the bed.
Yes. The V8R, they bounced a few months ago.
Yeah, because I remember you saying they were dipping, but you say bounce. My goodness me, you're surprised you can still see it.
They didn't dip. Yes, they didn't dip for long. Yeah, they're back up to sort of 6, 7, 8 upwards again.
Bugger it.
There are even a couple on the market for 15, 16, very low mileage ones.
Dear.
Whereas the V6 variants, there's quite a lot of choice for less than 2.
That's much more palatable, isn't it?
It's still, yeah.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Yeah, it is.
And you still get an hell of a car.
It is basically the same car, arguably with a more maintainable engine, because in those it's the Ford Duratec engines, the 2.5 and 3-litre V6 are the Ford-derived engines.
A solid lump.
Whereas the V8 is the Jaguar AJV8 lump. So,
yeah, I mean, which in itself isn't an awful engine by any stretch, but it's certainly much more financial commitment involved with that.
Yes,
and not just to fuel it.
The Ford V6, because obviously we're not really interested in looking at a diesel.
No, that's not where we're at.
Now, I saw one earlier today that had. It turned out to be quite disappointing, because I was reading through the advert and looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
It was a 2002,
okay.
Which means it's got the facelifted interior, but the non-facelifted exterior. So it's still got the back end that we like.
Yeah, that's the correct. Yeah, we don't want a facelifted exterior.
Well, we might have to, but it will come on to that. But
we might have to. I mean, no, if I've got any say in this, I don't want one.
Well, you're not the one looking at them.
But I'm the one who's going to drive it.
Well, yeah, there is that, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway,
terribly sorry, as you were.
So this one was a 2002 sport model. It was the 2.5 litre V6 in black, 17-inch alloys, which is the slightly smaller ones, which I rather like on that particular model. All the toys, heated seats, electric seats, all the bits and bobs, touchscreen, sat nav, although it's useless.
That's redundant, yes.
All of that, red interior.
Oh, dirty.
Dirt black with a red interior.
Absolute filth.
Oh, naughty that is. It done 119,000 miles.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's all right. Good MOT history, full Jaguar service history, all looking good. It was up for, with a dealer, it was up for £1,200.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
But it's a manual.
It's a tricky one now, isn't it?
Isn't it? It's quite rare, actually, because you very rarely see an S manual. They do exist, but they're not common.
Built to waft, I'm afraid. It's not the gearbox for it.
It's not, is it? I was so disappointed. I thought, oh, this is brilliant. This is everything I would want. This ticks all the boxes. Oh, it's a manual.
I'd be interested to drive it.
Well, it's the same. I believe it's the same manual gearbox that I had in my X-Type. It's a 5-speed. 5-speed manual. I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? Because if you see, there was one I saw a video on a while ago. There was a manual converted XJR, X300 type. And that, somebody had actually spent a considerable amount of money doing a manual conversion on that. But
that's a different kettle of fish, though, isn't it?
That's an XJR. That's the 4.2 litre supercharged V8. This was a 2.5 litre V6 S-Type, and it's
the incorrect gearbox, I'm afraid.
I don't want a manual one. No,
I mean,
don't want a manual one.
Don't get me wrong. I love a car with a manual, but that car doesn't need one.
No, it's got to, exactly. I mean, you wouldn't want the Puma with an automatic gearbox. That would be ridiculous. But yeah, I don't want a manual S-Type.
No.
It robs too much of its character, I think.
Yeah, no, that can sod off. No, even
Yeah.
for 1,200 quid, bugger off.
It's just not right. You just wouldn't be happy with it.
Mm-mm.
And there's no point. There's just no point because you'd constantly be thinking, "Oh, I wish this was an automatic." Every time you got in it,
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
think that.
Yeah.
So no, that doesn't work. So yes, I will keep looking. But certainly for around 16, 17, 1800, there is an immense amount of choice.
Okay.
If you go for the V6 version, even quite well specified models, you know, there never was a Sovereign, but they did the, I think it was the SE in the S-Type range,
Right. Okay.
that had the toys, or the Sport, because then you're getting a few extra bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Now, the advantage of the later ones, what I call the Series 3, although I don't think that was officially its designation, but the facelift ones, with the different rear end, the late 2005, 6 and 7.
It's more almost like an arse lift rather than a facelift, isn't it?
It was, because the front end was more or less the same, and the interior was the same. It was the very early cars that had a different interior.
Yes.
And I don't like those.
No, I'd agree on that. Way back when you were talking about S-types, I did go off and look at various ones and went,
very good.
Well, it's just not a car. I never particularly dwelled on it too much. I knew why it existed and when it became a thing, but I didn't know enough about the details. So, yes, I agree with you on the spec.
Up to 2001, they had a different interior. And then from 2002 onwards, they changed the interior to match the XJ and the X-Type.
Yep.
And then in 2006, or late 2005, 2006, they didn't do anything to the interior, but they effectively facelifted the exterior, which mainly changed the back end.
Yep.
The advantage of those later cars is that you get a few more bits and bobs inside, like Bluetooth connectivity for your phone and things like that. And they seem, from what I've read, to be a little bit less prone to rust. Now, that's not to say they're not prone to rust, but they are a little bit less prone to rust.
Okay.
The later ones. But you do have to put up with the slightly less attractive back end.
Yeah, that's not for me, I'm afraid.
They are more common as well. There's a lot more of them about.
Okay.
Than the earlier ones. So I will have to see. A later one might happen. But we'll see.
You need to run it past me first. You can't be rushing into these things.
Yeah, I know the rules, yeah.
I'd never buy a car without consulting you first.
Well, that is the rule. That is how it is now, isn't it?
That is,
buy a car without consulting the other now. No, that's just how it has to be. Yeah.
No, this is true. Do excuse me. I will make a beery noise. There we go.
That's all right. I need to do a poory noise. Well, here we go.
Excellent.
We had a little clink there.
Oh, very good. What have you got this evening?
This evening we have. Let me see if I can see here. It is a. It's a Diablo. It's a dark red Diablo. Oh, that's a bit nice. That. Yeah.
Oh, thinking about it, I bet a Diablo would look nice in dark red.
Yeah, it probably would. Yeah. Better than orange or green, anyway.
Whoa. No, Lamborghinis in ridiculous colours, especially in the 90s. That's fine.
Oh, I suppose it is actually. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No, we'll take those. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Got to talking to some friends of Kaylee's. And they are in the process of getting a new car from work.
Oh, right.
And it transpires that it's going to be a Model Y.
Oh, right. Well, you've got opinions on those, haven't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of a wait for it. I'll grant them that. It's not coming anytime soon, I'm afraid.
There is a wait list for them. Yeah, very, very popular.
Yeah, so there's going to be a bit of a wait yet. But when it arrives, I have been granted a drive.
Oh, well, now you see, you've driven a Tesla before.
I have. I drove one that I wanted to drive last time.
You drove the one you like. Yes.
Yeah. So when it arrives, I'm gonna drive the thing that I really don't like.
Yeah, but when your big objection to it is how it looks.
It looks a bit silly, and what it represents annoys me as well.
Yes, but when you're in it, you can't see it. So that's a bit. That will be very interesting. That will be very interesting. Do they know you've driven a Tesla before?
Yes.
Okay, so they'll know you know how to operate it.
Yes. The worrying thing is they're complete technophobes.
Oh, that's going to be a problem.
So I fear I might be teaching them how to use it.
Yeah. Well, the software is very intuitive.
Well, yes. Well, honestly, we are going to find out.
That's not the car for a technophobe.
Yeah. So
that is one of the most techie cars you can buy.
Yeah. So it's going to make for interesting watching to see how that unfolds. But I'm.
So, yeah.
I don't know. Would I say I'm looking forward to driving one? I don't know.
I would be. It's well, yeah.
I appreciate the knowledge gathering aspect of it.
Yes, indeed, the opportunity to actually have an informed opinion about one, having driven one, I think is quite valuable. Yes.
Oh, yes. So you're suggesting I should come down off my high horse?
Yes. I'm suggesting you're allowed to not like it.
I'm hoping that it's going to cement me on top of the high horse.
Well, interesting.
I think it'll be fine to drive. I don't think I'll have any objections about the whole process of operating the vehicle. I will just have an objection to the packaging of the vehicle.
I think I've always thought that you'll have similar thoughts about it to the thoughts that Johnny Smith had when he did his road trip to Scotland in one. In that he said, and I believe his exact words were, "It's a technological masterpiece. I just wish they'd made it look nice."
Yeah, there is that. I mean, that's what it boils down
to. You can't debate the tech that's in it.
No, if there's any bit of it I'm looking forward to, it's that.
Yeah. It is deep. Even people who don't like Teslas acknowledge it is deeply impressive technology. But it is a small SUV, and that's not a market segment that we're particularly interested in.
No, that's the bit where I go, you know what? I have my motorcycle helmet in the cupboard upstairs. Do you think I should wear it for the entire operation of the vehicle?
That would be interesting. Is this around here or elsewhere?
Yes, around here. They
very good.
Just round the corner, actually.
Right. Okay. So, people might see you who know you. Yeah. Well, that's up to you. I mean, I wouldn't be ashamed of it, but it's each to their own.
No, I'm not ashamed, and that's why I've said on here that I'm going to do it. If I was ashamed, I would have not said anything.
You're doing research for this podcast.
That's partially it. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm curious for myself as well because
I'll be very interested in your opinion of that. And I know my dad will be very interested as well. Because I know he is, it's still under consideration for him.
Yes, he is in the market. So I really apologise, Chris, for every time I slag it off. Your reasonings for buying it are slightly different to
Well,
everyone else's.
he hasn't bought one.
No, but its considerations for it are perfectly valid.
He does have considerations that we don't. Yes, in that he tows a caravan, so his choice is much more limited. Because the electric vehicles with the capacity to tow, and he only has a fairly small caravan, are extremely limited. The Model 3 could pull it, but it's right on its limit, and he doesn't really want to be towing right on the weight limit. It's a little bit of headway.
See, now I feel even worse because not only have I slagged off the Model Y, I've slagged off caravanning.
I know.
You did the caravanning too, though. That wasn't just me.
No, he's never mentioned it.
We glossed over that.
Yeah, we've glossed over that. It's never come up. I think he knows we're not very interested in caravanning, but he is, and that is absolutely fine.
Yes,
he loves it. So I'm not going to tell people they can't do it because that would be kind of like communism. So he can crack on.
Of course, yes. It's not a bother.
The way he uses caravanning is extremely effective for him anyway, because he does just hitch it up and just go, and no plans, just goes where the road takes him, and it's it does give him an enormous amount of freedom.
Oh my God, you said it as well, didn't you? There's that whenever anyone tries to defend caravanning, the phrase that comes up, it's a sense of freedom you don't get with other holidays.
I didn't say that.
No, but that's at the back of my head. And
yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'm not into it at all. I'm not the slightest bit interested. But
no, we've learned that as well, because the reason you're not interested is I apologise to your dad because of his insistence on it.
Well, there you go. But yeah, dragging it back to the car rather than the caravan.
It's all right. We didn't mention doing unpleasant things in the cupboard, so it's all right.
No, we didn't. We did not mention that. No, and having to empty things out and stuff like that.
I did it once. I will never ever do it again. Ever.
No, exactly.
Ever.
But if he wants to go electric, his choice of vehicles because of that is very limited.
Yep, and that's there you go. There's your sound reasoning.
And the Tesla does still make the most sense with those limitations. But I don't think he's going to do it anytime soon, mainly not because of the car or the caravan, but because of the charging. Because charging, you cut your range in half, towing, and we've got no or very few drive-through chargers in this country. So to charge it, he's got to unhitch.
Yeah, got to go and park the caravan.
Then go and charge in a space. Then go and charge. But of course, that's even more of a faff because charging with a Model 3 on a supercharger is such a quick event. It's quite a lot of faff for 10, 15 minutes.
Yes, to park a caravan. And then you'll have... you'll end up in a motorway services doing this. Then you'll have someone come out from the services going, "Oi, this isn't a traveller site. You can't leave your caravan there." And you go, "No, terribly sorry. No, I'm just charging the car.
I'm just charging, and then I'll be back in a quarter of an hour." Yeah. That's the thing, because on a V3 supercharger, a Model Y, you can stick 150 miles in that in 10, 15 minutes. So you're not going to be there long. So it's quite a lot of mucking about. Or not very long.
Or maybe we're overthinking it. When you get to the service station, just parallel park in the bays instead.
And take up 4 bays. Yeah, that's It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
That's it. Problem solved. Yeah, you're overthinking it.
In Europe, there are quite a lot of trailer-friendly chargers where you can, you drive straight through, but there are hardly any
That's
in
quite
the UK.
interesting.
Hardly any in the UK, even superchargers.
I'd given that, no thought whatsoever, actually.
No thought whatsoever, but he has given it some thought and some research, and it's not really a thing in the UK.
Which is odd, because there's just caravans bloody everywhere.
Very popular. But
Sorry,
I suppose until...
really good way of holidaying. Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Until recently, there haven't really been any EVs capable of towing.
No, this is true.
Not any decent towing capacity.
No, towing capacities on electric are, on the whole, a bit crap.
Well, the Model 3 doesn't have the capacity really for anything beyond a trailer. Model Y and Model X have decent towing capacities. Model S you can't tow with at all.
Who's towing with an S anyway?
Well, you can't.
Well, that's it. It's not the class of vehicle for that, is it?
I believe Audi e-tron can tow, but it's got a really low capacity, and there are some others. But you also need something with a decent-sized battery. It cuts your range in half. If you've only got a tiny battery, you're not going to get very far.
Yeah, that's the trouble. As soon as you start dragging your temporary abode around with you, you're buggered, didn't you?
I think it's the charging that's putting him off at the moment. Is the faff of having to charge it.
That's fair enough. And I think
if it wasn't for that, I think he'd have done it already.
Yeah, I suppose. Mind you say about the charging as well. It's putting a few people off at the minute, regardless of whether they're towing something.
Because of the prices.
Yes. Well done, government. Good
they've
work.
ruined that. There was a piece on the Tesla Owners Group, which I'm strangely still a member of, the other day, where...
Hang on, isn't there a line we could borrow from Spectre there? Cuckoo.
Yeah, something like that. I told him I don't have the car anymore. Revoke my membership.
Sorry. Couldn't help that.
Silence, child. I've forgotten what my point was now. Oh, yes, there was a chap who did a journey. I can't remember if it was a friend or a family member, but they were doing the same journey, but in opposite directions.
Yeah.
He did it in his Model 3, and the other person did it in a diesel car. And in terms of fuel, the diesel car was cheaper.
Oh dear.
How have we got here?
That
is utterly ridiculous.
That's not going to help the uptake, is it?
No, it is not. That is absolutely ridiculous. You're talking 70, 80p a kilowatt now from some motorway chargers.
Which is insane.
Yes, it is. Yes,
but
it is.
I mean, the trouble is, I know that for a while there was no price caps for commercial use, was there? But I know that that's changed in recent times. But it's only till March, as I recall.
Yeah, well, they keep messing around with it, don't they? And doing U-turns, and they can't. Don't know what they're doing.
They don't know which way they're facing now, do they?
No, they don't. It's a total shambles. But yeah, we are now in a position where in some cases it's cheaper to run a piston car than it is to run an EV. And that's just chronically stupid. How on earth has that happened?
We are a laughing stock at this point, aren't we?
Yes, I think so.
Unbelievable. Yeah, so...
Utterly ridiculous.
Oh dear. Well, it just comes full circle there, doesn't it? Because, well, in a world with such turmoil and when we don't know what to do and you go, well, we've all been told to buy electric cars, but now they're too pricey to put electric in them.
Yes.
The only sensible thing in this, we've not hammered the point home enough recently, actually, is... well, still go and get a Mark 1 Focus because the price is not rising on those at the moment.
And yet neither of us has.
No, but I do have a car and you don't. So the onus is on you there.
Yeah, but you know what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah. You're not going to follow sensible consumer advice like that.
I think the listeners would be disappointed if I did.
Yeah, mind you, I still think we should do what we've said in the past. Maybe just buy a Stuff and Waffle Mark 1.
Oh, we could perhaps chip in and
Yeah.
get one. Yes.
Yeah,
That's a possibility.
I think that might be the way forward. So
yeah, we'll get it branded.
Oh, I'd love that. Oh yeah,
that's the way forward.
Oh yeah, we just
Get a bit of vinyl on it, or we can use some poster paints or something. I don't. Either way.
Yeah, I think with our budget, it's probably that.
It's probably that, and it's you and me with a pot of paint and some brushes at a weekend. Yeah,
that's it. And then minutes later, you'll have kicked it over.
Yes.
And that's it. And you won't be parking the Puma in the garage because you'll be parking it on the driveway to hide the paint stain.
Oh, well.
There you go.
There you go. That is the future.
That's it. Yeah, you've got a paint stain under your sofa and you got a paint stain under your Puma.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.